JD. Welcome to my channel. This morning I'm going to be working on this Waltham that was in a salesman's case. Salesman's case has got a crystal on the back as well as the front, and I did a little bit of video on it yesterday, and the problem with this thing is I don't friggin' know. So that's the problem with this thing. So I've removed the face from the watch just to show you that this is live and interactive. It's I could probably let down the actual power on the mainspring now, and I can't see a damn thing because I got my glasses off. What a dummy. Anyway, I can let the power down on the mainspring now and get this thing out of the way. I think I got to put my glasses on, folks, before I ruin something. Let's get those glasses on right now, and again, recording full, no breaks. No 3-second gaps. No 3-second gaps for all you people that want to attract children. And just to let you know, I might be wrong, but I doubt it. 2 watches on today. Both are digital. One is I think it's a 5600. This one here is a. Let me just give you a little bit of a close-up of this watch. I think it's a 5600. It is the GW 5000U. This is it's getting a little bit dirty in the back, but it's the 5000U movement in there, and it is a G-Shock. Look at this, shocking. It's G-Shocking. Look at this watch. G-Shock. It's pretty amazing, this thing. It works upside down as well. Look at that. So it's on a full charge right now. It's solar. It is solar charge. It's also uses the Dayton, Ohio radio signal to actually time the watch, so I don't have to do anything with it. It's a bit dirty right now. G-Shock protection. This thing was hard to get. It's not cheap. It's not a cheap G-Shock. It is water resistant to 20 bar. So if you're drinking and you're at your bar, you can drink at 20 bars and spill beer on it, and it still won't stop. So look at that. So it's 20 bar, and you guys can just forget it anyway. It's got snooze, alarm, signals, all kinds of stuff, different time zones. It's got a light. It'll illuminate. You won't, let me see illuminate. You'll see a little bit of illuminate here. It's got all kinds of modes adjust, but I don't. I just wear it. And the strap is soft. It's not like the other G-Shock watches. And the big thing about this G-Shock is it's got your really nice stainless steel case back here, not your 4-screw plate that they have in the cheap G-Shocks. So this is an expensive, made in Japan Casio G-Shock, as you can see, made in Japan. Look at that. So I don't buy very many watches, but I did buy this one. And I'm going to show you another one. I got it up in my window here, and it's a beast. This is the beast, okay? So this one here, I should do a video on this thing, but this is the beast. Look at this thing here. Casio Eco Drive, and it is amazing. So this is a dive watch here, and there's your little dive watch. There's your water detection device right here. So if I put my finger over this thing here, look at that. It says you're at 0 meters. Take my finger off, and it should go back. There we go. And now it's showing me level 1 of solar power. I could juice that thing up in my solar powered charging device. But there it is, and this is the Eco Drive. This is not radio controlled, so I don't get a time zone correction or time correction every evening. It's not radio controlled. One thing that's very interesting about this is that the pushers on here on the side, because it's a chronograph, they've got these little locking, unscrewable, screw-onable things here. So you can screw those like that, then you can access the pusher, right? So it's pretty interesting. And that gives it the extra water seal, and you tighten those up like that, and then it's got this massive crown here. Look at the size of that baby. So you can do that in 120 click bezel. And it's one way for diving. You don't want it both ways. I am a NAUI certified diver. All these people nowadays are PADI certified divers, but those PADI people just aren't like the NAUI people. I'm just telling you. NAUI is old school 70s, baby. Old school 70s. We used to dive without air. We'd scuba dive without air. That's how good we were, right? We were amazing. We used to breathe right from the tank without a regulator. Oh yeah, trained on how to do that. Oh yeah. How do you feel today, JD? Do you feel 100%? I feel 1,000%, which is way more than 100%. Oh yeah. Now, who was that? Take a guess. So this is a beautiful watch. I think I probably put this on here because it came with a normal rubber clasp, and I bought this one here, which is nice. And it's all milled, which is also nice. And I like the look. Anyway, this is a massive watch. Massive. And that's my other watch for today. So let's get into the video. Wait, there's one more. It's the Citizen Blue Angels watch. Again, a very nice chronograph watch. I bought this probably 5 years ago, I wanted to say. 5 years ago. Maybe? I'm not sure. World Chronograph WR200. Is that the water resistance? Probably. WR should be water resistance. Radio controlled, as you can see on the left-hand side. Citizen Eco Drive solar powered watch. This thing, this puppy dog, just goes and goes and goes like nothing you've ever seen. If you hold this down, I think it tells you whether... Nope, it didn't catch the radio signal last night, but that's fine. It'll catch it tonight. So it's radio controlled. So when you look at on your website and you hit time.to, I think, this thing will be bang on the money. So this is a really nice watch too. It doesn't have a bezel, but it's an aircraft pilot's watch. So you turn this thing here like that, and it tells you exactly when you're going to run out of fuel and how many nautical miles you have left before the landing of the watch uncontrollably. So landing of the watch as it's sitting in the aircraft. So this is the Eco Drive, but it's a nice watch because it's the Blue Angels watch, which is kind of cool. A Citizen Eco Drive watch. Genuine leather, as opposed to cows that walk around with different kind of leather on their bodies, right? This is Thailand, made in Thailand. Isn't interesting, eh? So it's not made in Japan. So this is the other solar powered, radio controlled, chronograph, diving, Eco Drive watch. Anyway. And the last watch here is the Apple Titanium, and I got it set to Folex. Folex. It's so close to Rolex, it's stupid. It says, put on your watch, stupid, that way it'll synchronize. And this is also a dive watch. And there's a little vent over here, and it actually rattles to spit out the water and turns into a dive watch. These puppy dogs cost about $1,000. It's the titanium. The only thing I don't like about this watch is when I put my coat on, it's so big it snags on my sleeve as I put my coat on. So I wear this thing. It's a gift from my youngest kid, who said, hey, Dad, you need one of these. And the only reason he wanted me to have one of these was because he said I need to be able to communicate with my grandchildren in the walkie-talkie mode. Okay? And it has happened at the most embarrassing times. Like in the middle of a presentation. Hey, Grandpa, how you doing? Do you know where my bathing suit is? Funny. That's the other watch I'm wearing today. So now let's get to work. So the first thing I'm going to do is check and see if the stem turns, because the first thing that happened with this watch is the stem didn't turn. So if I look at that, I can see the stem does turn, which means the gear underneath this little plate is also turning. The other thing is that it's what someone has said was a negative something watch. This thing is just ticking like crazy. It's a shame if I've got to take this apart and do more work on it, because it is working so well. And if I press down in here, it now will wind a bit, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. It's winding a bit. See, that slowed down. Now, why did that slow down? Did it slow down because of this? Or what? Why did this thing slow down? So if I go like that, is it going to slow down? I don't know. But I need to use a toothpick or something, because I want to take the power off of this watch. So what will I grab to do that? Let's grab a toothpick. You loves your toothpicks. I want to strip this thing down just a bit and have a look at its operation. I want to see what's going on here. What the heck is going on with this watch? So I saw this watch just sort of stall 2 seconds ago, and I may have to mark this as to what time or what period of rotation it stalls, because it might be a problem if it's going around and every minute it's going to stall a bit. it may be a problem with one of the teeth in the gears. So I'd have to look at the teeth to see if it's stalling every minute. There, listen, right there. So there we go. It just stalled, and it's 8:32:57. So let's see if I can get checking my watch here, and 7 seconds later it stalls again, because that might give me an idea of the gearing problem. And is there something within the leaf of the pinion, or is it a tooth on the gear or something? Because that's suspicious. It's strangely suspicious. It's like it's running super well, and then when it stalls, it's trying to run well because it's got momentum with the balance spinning around, but that momentum is taken away by the stall. So I'm looking at this watch and seeing it's at 38 right now, 40, and I'll see if 42, 43, 44. Does it do it at 55? Yep. 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, and then it clears up. There we go. And I'm going to do it one more time, and I'm going to show you. Hopefully you'll see around 50 or 55 it stalls again. We just move the watch over, and let's just look at this here. I'll shut up. I'll shut up when it gets closer. So now it's 22, 24, 31, 39, 40, 'Same time. Listen to that. Look at that. All right, that's the problem. So it's stalling. It's stalling once a minute. So what does that mean? So the question is, which hand turns once every minute? Guess what? It's the seconds hand, and it would be the fourth wheel. So the fourth wheel on the watch would be, this would be the mainspring. That's 1. That's 2, which is the center wheel. 3 is the intermediate wheel. 4, this is the guilty party. So it's either this wheel, the pinion for this wheel, or one of the teeth on the fourth wheel. So it's the pinion of this wheel, or the teeth on this wheel. Or is it, let me look at the radius of here. So it would be a tooth on this wheel or the pinion on this wheel. So yeah, the tooth on the intermediate wheel or the pinion on the fourth wheel. So we're going to have to take this apart and have a look, because it's stalling exactly once a minute. So we'll have a look. What I like to do sometimes, I don't think I can do it this time, is actually mark the wheel as it turns, so I understand exactly where it's causing the problem. But I can't do that this time. And actually, it might not be the tooth on this one, because this intermediate wheel does not happen every minute. It doesn't come by every minute. But it does interact with the pinion, so it would be the leaf of the pinion of the fourth wheel that has something in it, or it's jammed or something. So we're going to take this apart and have a look at that leaf. So I put the watch into the Myers number 58 movement holder. Let's have a look at this movement holder for a second, and sure enough, every minute this thing's making noise. So there are the different inserts, and this is what it looks like, and it's your third hand. It's your third hand. If you're missing a hand, get one of these. There you go, third hand. Insert. If you have to read this to figure out how to use it, you should not be a watchmaker. Just saying. So I'm going to be a good boy today and take the power off the watch this way. Normally I would not be such a nice boy, but I'm going to do it this way and just turn the bench key, push in, turn the bench key, and then move the click spring out of the way, and then just let the power roll back. I probably don't have to do anything with this side of the watch with the plate here. So I'm putting a little pressure on the back end of this bench key to keep it in. Plus I'm trying to not let the mainspring just take off like crazy. Take off, hoser. So there we go. So the power is now off the watch, and it's just clicking back and forth. So I do not want to get into a situation where this movement is in danger of any type, because it was running so well. So here's my little thing I built. I think this is pretty cool. So I like manufacturing things. So I'm going to get my Bergeron. I think I said Bergeron tool the other way, but it's Bergeron. That's how you would pronounce that word, by the way, for you people that aren't French. Bergeron. I am actually half French, and I was born in France. Isn't that pretty amazing? So, just after the Civil War. No, the French Revolution. No, wasn't then either. So I can put this little screw here in this little can. Look at that. So handy. And then when I go back here and just get this loose a bit, I just have to reach in. Probably have the wrong angle here to do this at, but I'll just reach in like this, lift it up, and then it should just come out nicely like that. And then with this device here, I can hang it on one of two things, but I love putting it on this pad because it rests here, and then it just sits on the knobby, and there's no stress on the hairspring. So brilliant design, I got to say. So if you want a brilliant design, you got to do it yourself. So there you go. And this was for bigger watches like size 18s, that where the hairspring, the hole of the balance cock would be a bit bigger. This would ride down like this. So I made all this on my lathe and down in my cutting lab. So I like making stuff. So now there's no power remaining on this watch, and just to make sure, I just can move that pallet fork back and forth, and there's nothing remaining on the watch. So I think what I'll do here is take off this plate. I can lift this straight up and not worry about the pinion on the bottom. I'm hoping I'll be able to see the problem after I remove the plate. If I can't, then I have to remove this plate here, remove the center wheel, remove these wheels. But I'm just going to have a peek here and see what I can see before I do that. So let's just remove the plate here. And for all you watchmaker glove fanatics, I keep telling people, back in the day when they repaired pocket watches, they didn't wear rubber gloves. I don't even think they had the rubber we have today, the acrylic or whatever it is. So, but they didn't do it. So I'm going to try not to smudge my hands all over the place. But usually I wipe the watch down with Rodico after I would do the work, and if it's a very super high-end watch, I definitely will put the gloves on, as you've seen. But if it's not a super high-end watch, I usually rub it down, because and then you're going to write me. You guys are going to write me and say, JD, what are you doing? You know you have to do that. So I'm just going to lift this up here, lift the plate up, and straight up like that, and get that out of the way. Now I'm going to have a look. So what I think, this is the wheel here that turns once every minute. So the question is there an issue with this wheel? And is it within the pinion here? Is there dirt in the leaves of the pinion? So this may require microscope work to look at it closely, but I can examine it just quickly with my eyeball and see if there's any dirt in there or what the problem might be. So I can't see anything that's obvious that would happen once a minute. So I'm going to run the train, which means I'm going to take the pallet fork off the movement, and then I'm going to put the plate back on, and then I'm going to run the train. I'm going to do some train running. So to take the pallet fork off the movement here, I just need to take these two screws off. And then there's a, this is a bridge because it's got two screws. It's not a pallet cock, it's a bridge. I'm going to put these screws way out of the area so I don't have to worry about them. I'm very careful as I go in the side here and loosen this screw. And I likely want to use my Bergeron holder here just to make sure that I'm not risking the pallet fork pivots when I do this. And to see if I can grab the screw out nice and easy. Almost came out. I think this screw is not as deep as the other one. Or just like that, maybe it'll come up. There we go. And I'm just going to put them in the right position on the mat so I know exactly where they were. And I think I could grab this straight from the top here and just lift up. There we go. That's the bridge. And then the pallet fork can come straight up like that. And remember, this pallet fork was a little bit loose, the safety thing on it, so I may see if I can find a replacement pallet fork for this, because I got a lot of parts the other day and I had a boatload of pallet forks. I'm not sure if they're big enough for this type watch, but let's run the train here. So I'm going to grab the plate here and put this back, and I may have to do some nudging to get this in place, but I'm just going to put this down like this, and I'll have to nudge to make sure all of the wheels are in place. And I just use this for my nudging. So I'll be back after nudging. So I'm just putting the screws back in for this plate. Everything is in place here. So I have to, before I tighten them down, of course, I'll make sure that all the pivots are showing. So just bring it in nice and loosely. And then make sure the pivots are all showing. This one seems to be up a bit high here. So might be a little issue with this particular pivot. And they look down on this thing and see, yeah, I don't see no stinking pivot. Although everything kind of ran nicely there. But I'm just gonna do some further nudging. Just to make sure that this rear wheel is in place. Now this one went sideways again. That was the problem. It's always something. Always something. All right, I don't want you to watch me nudge. I'm going to turn off and nudge. So now I'm just going to put a little bit of power on this and then run the train here. And what I'm looking for is for it stalling at a certain point, if it does. And I'll let you know. Well, right now I can't see this happening. It's odd because every minute the thing was stalling. But I don't see this happening every minute right now. And what seems a little odd, but the The actual pinion for the escapement wheel seems a bit high. I don't think it screws down. I'm not sure if it screws down or not, but it seems a little bit high. And as I spin the wheels here, they're not absolutely perfectly flat, but that shouldn't cause an issue, right? Shouldn't, anyway. Not sure whether it would, but it shouldn't. So it's running fairly free. That's why I'm getting good power out of the pallet fork. Odd, folks, very odd. It's a problem that is not going to be easy to solve, I don't think. I do hear a little bit of scraping when I It doesn't seem to have anything to do with the pivot, the pinion on the fourth wheel. Anyway, I'm going to keep looking at this and I'll get right back. So the train runs perfectly, which is really strange. So I'm just thinking maybe it has to do with the timing of the pallet fork with the balance. So I'm not absolutely sure about this, but it might have something to do with that. So I'm going to see if I can, I'm going to try to see if I can replace the pallet fork here on the balance with something else, another different pallet fork. And this huge bucket of parts here down below, I think I've got escapements and pallet forks. I'm not sure if they are the right size, but I'm going to have a quick look and see what I've got. So all the pallet forks I have in here are the wrong type. Nice. So I do have a massive Elgin original parts box where I might have a pallet fork in here somewhere, I'm hoping. And I have this whole box of Elgin parts. Let's see if I can find something in here. Alright, JD again. So this is plan D, I think. So if you look at that pallet fork and you look at the guard pin there, I actually moved it forward just a bit with a screwdriver to see if it would give me better contact with the roller table. And if it's too far out, I will move it back ever so slightly. But I'm not sure if that thing is in solid position here, so I may end up shellacking the bottom of this just slightly so I can ensure that this thing is in there solid. But by bending it like this, it's not going to be able to go down, which is good. I'm not sure if it will rotate though, so I'm going to try this out and see if this solves the overbanking or out of adjustment issue that the watch had. If not, I've gone to Dave's Watch Parts and I may buy another pallet fork, or I may end up trying to replace that guard pin, see if I can actually accomplish that. So this is kind of it for today's video. I'm just going to publish this baby and we'll see you next time. I'm going to work on this today again, but I didn't want the 3.5 hour video, so there you go. Thanks a lot for watching my channel. I did try to find a donor movement, but the donor movement I got was a bit too old, so it had a different type of pallet fork, plus I went through a lot of parts and couldn't find it. So I think that might be the issue here, that guard pin was not out far enough and secure. That's one of the issues. The pinging part might be part of that. I'm not absolutely sure, but I could not find any rationale behind this thing slowing down or making noise every minute. That didn't make any sense, and when I run the train on the watch, there are no issues. So let's just try this out and see what happens. I'm going to use my liquid shellac again that I made a long time ago, and then let that dry overnight. And I'll probably leave the pallet fork in one of these pin vices, this one or a different pin vise. So anyway, thanks a lot, and I'll check and I'll see you later. Bye. Alright, here's my setup. I'm going to put this pin vise into this other clamp here so I got a good grip on the darn thing when I'm shellacking the back. And I'm going to shellac the back, which is my choice, folks. I'm going to shellac the back to keep keep it from rotating. This is the guard pin I'm talking about, right? So this is in the pin vise and it's solid. I'm telling you, it's solid. So there it is there in the pin vise. I'm hoping I don't lose the very nice shot I have here. So I'm just going to put a little shellac in the back of a needle and then go from there. All right, let's start the recording here so I can just touch this shellac. See if I can grab enough shellac just to place it on the back of this guard pin. I don't want more shellac than needed. There, that potentially could allow this guard pin to stay in place. It's a little ball of shellac and not interfere with the jewel going in there. So this is my theory. And since I got this movement out here, I think I'm going to put a little bit of shellac on the jewels on the top here. And the rationale for that is that these jewels have been in place for 1,000 years. And I think it won't hurt to have a little bit of support from the back end of that jewel. There we go. A little tiny bit of shellac to break your mother's back. That's good there. I don't need any more. So that's it. So now I'm going to end the video. And this could prevent it from being out of adjustment, or what I'm calling overbanking. And thanks for Sunny for having the idea of this liquid shellac. So here it is here, and it's in great liquid shellac shape right now. And I made that with denatured alcohol. So that's it. Thanks for watching my video today. I've been a lot of stuff. I'm not sure if any of this stuff will solve my watch problem, but we'll see what happens. Everything is stored and ready for the shellac to dry on the guard pin.